This show contains adult-orientated content.
Welcome to Smegcast with Gaz and Devon.
Oh, people! We're back! You should be scared. This is Gaz. Devon is here as well.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, Devon.
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit puffed. I was running a bit late.
Oh, that's okay, mate. No, people don't know I'm the small one. Devon's the tall one.
We're sort of like twins, you know,
Yeah.
but like I'm sort of the Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're the Danny DeVito.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm much more handsome than Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Nothing against Danny DeVito.
I think anyone's more handsome than Danny DeVito.
Oh, we should get him on the show and have him debate you on that. Yeah, you doing good? How are you?
Very well, very well.
Yeah, you doing all right?
I've got a nice full stomach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you get a bit of lunch today?
I did. I've tried some Subway today.
Oh, Subway.
Yeah.
That's a classic, Devon, isn't it? You know,
as like they say, Subway, eat fresh.
well, you can't. You see, I got the gluten thing. I can't eat at Subway anymore. This is the thing. You know, once you have the gluten stuff, then Subway, that's gone. That's like alcohol now, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. Yeah, I gotta stay away from it. It's tempting, but I have to keep my distance. And then I judge people that queue up to go to them. They're big because I think it's the tradies that keep that place going.
It is.
Isn't it? It's like the plumbers, electricians, the woodworkers, the carpenters, you know, all those people, they keep it going. Subway were considered, look at this fried chicken. You don't want to eat that.
You want the healthy alternative, you know,
Yeah.
something good for your stomach, your heart, all that kind of stuff.
It's like, don't eat fried chicken. That's bad for you. Big Macs, very, very bad. They're terrible. You know, everyone's got bad cholesterol. You want to lose weight. Don't eat that. That's a terrible idea. 20 chicken nuggets for $10. Don't do that. That's a terrible thing to do. You know what you should do? You should eat carbs, bread, defrosted capsicum or peppers, defrosted vegetables, salad that is, wilting away, and reheated, reconstituted meats of all kinds, and then like Caesar sauce on top of it, and then put a bit of bread on it. That's what you should eat. That's a healthy way to live.
Well, it's funny you say about the Caesar sauce because there is actually now a new sauce on some of the Subway chicken pieces.
Right.
Yeah, so it's the spicy chicken Subway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so big news then, Devon. So the Subway world is expanding.
See, I had to try it because there's been this commercial on TV where they're actually using a different guy now. So it's probably more for the Australian audiences.
Yeah.
But there's a guy now basically promoting the new spicy chicken sub.
So Subway do this, every once in a while. So, the Subway people go, everyone's bored of the classic chicken. We're done with chicken now. We need to figure out a way to make it sexy again. How do we do that? And Devon sent me an ad, and he said, I think Subway figured out how to make chicken sexy again.
They turned it orange.
They did turn it orange.
Well, you think about it, you got girls every Friday, Saturday night wanting to have a night on the town. What do? They cover themselves in fake tan.
Well, that's right.
Make themselves orange to appeal more sexier.
Well, orange is sexy. But so the new Subway sandwich, look, I don't care, but I'm going to ask you this anyway. What is it?
So look, basically you can still have the chicken on it.
What's it called though? What's the name of it? Is it just called the spicy chicken sandwich? Is that it?
Basically it, yeah.
That's, oh God, honestly, give me something imaginative, people.
But the funny thing is it's not actually so much the sandwich I have a problem with. It's the guy and the sound that comes out of his mouth when he eats the spicy chicken.
That's right. Now, so Devon sent me this ad and he said, "Is there something? What do you think is wrong with this?" So I said, oh, "Okay, I'll bite." So I watched the ad and look, we can play the ad. It's probably more around the sound that he makes after eating a sandwich, which I guess you could say made you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Shall we play it?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Now, listen very carefully. It's a very short clip, but everyone, just have a listen and see what you think might be a little off about this.
That's my kind of spicy. Oh.
Now, there we go. There's a very short clip. It's very short. This is like the Zapruder film. You need to study this in great detail to see what's wrong. But listen one more time.
That's my kind of spicy. Oh.
Now, that's a lovely noise. I think if you listen really carefully, he has an orgasm.
He does.
At the end of that ad. He has it. Listen one more time. You hear the orgasm.
That's my kind of spicy. Oh.
There it is. See, I knew it was there. It's just that you have to really look into it. But that's a disturbing way to eat a sandwich.
Because it's not the sound I would expect. Like if I'm eating something spicy, Like I would picture more like some panting or some sort of like, oh, geez, that is spicy. Oh, give me some water.
But that doesn't sell sandwiches though, Devin.
No.
You know what I mean? A fat guy sweating and going, oh, I'm struggling. That does not sell a sandwich. You know what sells sandwiches? Sexiness sells sandwiches, and that's why they've got it. But it's a pretty disturbing thing to see it on TV in the middle of daytime.
But the thing is too, like they've given him made him do a sexy sound, but he's not sexy either, the guy. But the thing is, this is the weird thing, Gary. They've colour coordinated the guy with the sandwich.
So he's the same colour as the sandwich.
So basically, just picture the Subway sandwich. You've got the white bread, the green lettuce, and the bright orange spicy chicken on top.
Yeah.
Well, basically, they've got a pasty white guy wearing like a green jacket and bright orange hair. So he literally matches the colour of the Subway sub.
Subway need to do something where, if you dress up like the sandwich that you order, you get it like for free or something. Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be an advantage to that. But I wonder marketing wise, and this is why we're getting into it. It's like marketing wise, you watch it and you go, what am I being manipulated by? What is it about this ad that's going to try and manipulate me into buying a fucking sandwich with chicken in it? And I don't quite know what it is. I don't see. I guess the question, Devin, is that is putting a lady in a bikini that eats it, is that better? Or is, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or is that too manipulative? Or are we getting into a world where if you take someone that's not traditionally handsome as a man and put him on the sandwich ad, then all men don't feel threatened. Well, and it's like, anyone can eat this sandwich, even this guy.
Well, see, I have a theory about this guy and the colour scheme that they've chosen for him too.
Right.
Because you know what? I think what they were trying to achieve hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked on you in particular.
Right, okay.
Because his colouring in the sub is orange, white and green.
Right.
Now, you're Irish, right?
That is right.
Or unless you're putting on a fake accent.
It's been a long time. I'm like Jason Bourne. I can keep that shit going for years.
So now what colour is the Irish national flag?
Well, it's a green, white and gold. I think gold is supposed to be the way it's orange. It can look orange.
It looks orange.
Yeah, I don't know why.
So I think that's what it is. I think they're probably trying to target the Irish market. They've got a guy who they basically made look like a damn leprechaun.
Right.
With an orgasm.
So I suppose, is this a traditional Irish sandwich? Not really. I think is it Portuguese chicken? What type of chicken are we talking about?
That is a good.
It's just orange chicken.
Just orange chicken.
Georgia. It's not. It just tastes like normal chicken, but they just put fucking orange in it, and then it's got. This is awful. I'm looking at it. It's got a blue cheese dressing.
Oh.
Now even the idea. And I'm talking. When I say dressing, it's like the squeeze some sort of liquefied blue cheese out of like the most disgusting kind of squeezy bottle thing you've ever seen. I mean, it looks horrific, and even the word blue cheese makes me shiver somewhat. But the idea that they kind of blended it together with water makes me, it doesn't sound very appealing to me. The idea of putting together orange chicken and some squeezy blue cheese sauce, it's not for me. No. And no one in Ireland should really take this. I'm
just wondering, like, would the spiciness of that chicken help keep you warm in those winter months?
Well, I suppose it is coming winter too. But I mean, Subway are a funny bunch because they can't do very much. There's only so much you can do with a sandwich. Yeah. I think that's the thing. They're going, how do we get more people in the shop? How do we get a whole group that we haven't got in before? And then they go, well, it's only sandwiches, isn't it? Like if you don't like sandwiches, we're in trouble.
Yes.
There's only so many things you can do with a sandwich, Devin. And they started doing chips. Have you seen this now? They start doing chips because they think, that's great. You can't go wrong. We've done a survey and 90% of people on the planet say chips are great, but only 50% say sandwiches are great. So we need chips in there. And so now they've got these chips that you can buy and they're called fit chips. So it's kind of like, I'm eating chips, but I'm still looking after myself because it's fit chips. And it means I can eat 4 packets of them and still be okay. So, Subway are funny. It's like, I'm going to give you your cake and you can eat it as well. And I think that's where they're going for as well. But what you're trying to say to the audience, what are we trying to say? We're trying to say, Subway, guys, don't put sexual noises in your ads because it's not selling.
Because this is the thing too. Like I would think, okay, when they've probably done quite a few different takes for that particular sound. And I'm just sort of thinking like, the guy maybe made a sound first and then the director of the commercial would be sitting back going, no, we need to give you some more inspiration perhaps for the right kind of sound.
Bring in the magazine. Got a magazine? Yeah, it's kind of like be a method actor in this one, Timothy. All right? Like I know that, you go by instincts, but I want you to be Daniel Day-Lewis in this ad, all right? I don't know what it's going to take to get you to get to the orgasm noise, but I'll do whatever it takes. All right?
Because the thing is,
Timothy's sitting there going, okay.
See, when I picture the sound of the guy,
Yeah, right.
like I sort of imagine.
Give me more passion, Timothy, more passion.
See, I wonder if they've kind of gone to him and said, okay, imagine you've gone to a doctor, mainly a proctologist.
Yeah.
And the doctor comes in.
Proctologist.
But it's ET.
The first thing you pick.
But it's ET.
Right.
And he's got his big red glowing finger, but his hands are quite cold. And he sticks his finger up your bum.
Right.
And then you make the noise.
Yeah. You
Like
mean
that.
like this noise?
That's my kind of spicy. Oh,
Honestly, Steven Spielberg's going to hear this and he's going to be deeply, deeply upset. But I suppose, if we think about what they're trying to advertise, they want you to think, Devin, Subway, want you to watch this and go, my God, that sandwich, that must make me feel as good as it looks. Like I'm going to eat that sandwich and I am going to groan with pleasure in front of an entire store of Subway staff. Subway are trying to tell us something subconsciously. Like you're right, a director sat there and he decided the kind of noise that this kid was going to make.
Yeah.
Whatever Timothy was going to do, this director directed him and said, I need you to make it sound like that time when you were 18 and you're on the beach and you met that girl drunk at a party and, you'll never have that experience again. But that noise that you made, that's the one I want to hear, Timothy. Understand? And Timothy says yes. And you wonder what kind of director it takes that when he hears the noise and he goes, oh, this is going to work. We're going to sell so many sandwiches.
Yeah.
There's going to be people queuing up for this. Hey, I've got a better ad. I have a much better ad, right? We do the same ad,
Yeah.
right? Same noise. And then at the end of the ad, he's sitting there with the empty wrapper in front of him saying Subway on it. There's crumbs everywhere, right? And his hair's a bit disheveled and he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And then the advertisements for Marlboro cigarettes. When you brought this ad to me, I had a look because there is a lot of the celebrity and the ad is an interesting relationship. There's always a funny thing, you take famous people and then, you think they would never stoop to the level of selling, a pair of socks to someone, because they're better than that. They do James Bond films, they sell those. They don't sell socks.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, Devin, one of these great statuesque, members of society goes, you know what, I'm going to just do this for a bit of cash. And so this is what happens. But there's actually, so I looked up this and there is some very, very inappropriate celebrities doing some inappropriate ads that don't fit with their image.
Okay.
Now, I didn't know this, but David Beckham did a Burger King ad.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about you, but I look at David Beckham and I don't see Burger King in his lifestyle. I don't think he thinks about it. I don't think David Beckham thinks about Burger King for a minute of the day. I think he probably thinks about broccoli a lot, but I don't think he thinks about Burger King as well. But I tell you what, let's listen to David Beckham just for a moment.
All right.
Let's see what if he goes to Burger King, what does he order?
Exciting things are happening at Burger King.
Can I get one of those new strawberry and banana smoothies?
What did you?
Now he wants a strawberry and banana smoothie, Devin. Right? So I don't know about you, but David Beckham selling me a strawberry and banana smoothie, I feel like I'm being lied to.
Yes.
Because I think there's something, what that ad teaches me?
What?
That if I drink a strawberry and banana smoothie at Burger King, I'm going to look like him. That's basically what they're saying to me, which is not true. That's not true. I don't know if you've seen any celebrity ad. Do you know Brad Pitt did a Pringles ad?
Oh, yes.
Have you seen that?
I have seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long ago that was.
That was a few years ago.
That was a long time. He was pretty young in it.
Yeah.
He was pretty young in it. But it's the ad's like you would enjoy it. It's kind of like, it's like neon, surfboards. There's guys in a VW van. They're going to the beach, but the van breaks down. Oh, what do we do? The van's broken. hang on a sec, I've got a pack of Pringles, and hey, there's Brad Pitt, and he's got a pack of Pringles, and isn't everything just great? And so, and I'm kind of going, what is this ad even trying? Is this telling me that if I break down, I don't have to worry about it as long as I got Pringles? Or is it telling me that only good-looking people eat Pringles? Or I'm very confused. You could put Brad Pitt on anything, and he'd sell it. I know. Here's the thing: is like they had Matthew McConaughey. Did you see that ad? He did like a whiskey ad.
Oh yes,
right. And it's just him, and he looks healthy. He's like a healthy kind of baked, because he's baked. It's like I think someone must take Matthew McConaughey and put him in the oven for 10 minutes every morning, because he just comes out like a fresh pie crust, just a fucking baked guy. Just enough age on his face,
and he's got that porn star mustache. In that commercial as well.
Yeah, he just looks like because men don't want to see clean cut men, do they? Because they look at like the Bieber person, and they go, oh no, he's that's not really a man. But then they see Matthew McConaughey, and he's got wrinkles, but he's baked, and he's got a bit of fluff on his face, and they go, oh yeah, I can relate to that. And that is the quintessential way I'd like to look at my mature age of 40.
Can you imagine Matthew McConaughey on set? He basically would be turning up going, all right. Sometimes when there's like a road, I like to follow it. I like to get in my Lincoln Town car and just drive and let go of the illusion that I don't exist.
That's so true.
That's how he'd be.
Well, this is the thing. The whiskey ad sounds like that.
Yeah.
Because in the whiskey ad, it's not even, because this is the thing. You can't, what can you advertise about whiskey? You can't have Matthew McConaughey go on the ad and look fucking drunk as shit and have him go, this gets you drunk.
Oh, I reckon he's pretty wasted. Because you watch that commercial too. He's just walking down the street, and there's like a girl walking past who kind of catches his eye, and
he's like, oh, look, hey, how you going?
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I've got some whiskey here. And it's like, I hate whiskey.
And then he comes across one guy who I think could be like a jazz musician, and he basically just sits down next to the jazz musician who's kind of singing, and Matthew McConaughey's there basically just moving his fingers like as though he's playing an invisible trumpet.
Yeah, right. But it's kind of like, what does that say? So that says that, like, if I drink that whiskey, I will look like Matthew McConaughey, I'll look freshly baked, have fluff on my face, be 6 feet tall, look like a handsome 40-year-old, and I'll be able to sit in jazz bars with real jazz musicians and then sit there like I know what the fuck jazz is about.
Well, see,
and it's like, that's not what that drink does.
Well, no, I think he does represent the proper alcoholic side of things, because you think about it, when Matthew McConaughey talks, nobody knows what the hell he's on about.
That's true.
So that's probably just
he pauses.
Well, it's just that drunken babble. It's almost like drunken babble.
The thing about alcohol ads is everyone that's in an alcohol ad looks incredibly healthy.
Yeah.
Like supremely healthy. And so you go, that's not really what that's, they never show the ad when he wakes up the next day and he's got it looks like his eyes have been battered into his head, he's got dark circles. He looks like a fucking panda from the oven. And then, his hair is half gone. He looks pasty and white and greasy on the face, and you just go, geez. And then it says wild turkey, and it's like, oh yeah, that's, it doesn't appeal to me, but that's the truth. And I suppose that's what they're talking about. But I remember that ad, but in the ad, he can't just say, drink wild turkey, it'll get you drunk. Like, he can't say that.
No.
So what he says is some sort of philosophical kind of thing that appeals to the red-blooded male, right? He says something like, you'll have to paraphrase this, but it's like, what is life about? What is pursuing happiness about? Where shall we go and where shall we end up? Drink wild turkey.
Imagine if they had like a little disclaimer at the end saying, don't drink and drive Lincoln Town cars.
It's true, man. It's so strange, And it's funny, we don't do cigarette ads anymore, but, there used to be cigarette ads.
Yeah, there used to be sort of a real sort of glamour with that as well.
Yeah.
And, basically they'd be making people look like, yeah, oh, wow, you can be so healthy. You can be, like, as soon as you put a cigarette between those two fingers and hold it up to your lip, man, your sex appeal is just increased tenfold.
It was actually, you're right. It was about sex appeal, wasn't it? I mean, that's what so much of cigarettes is about. And even to the point where, the association between sex and cigarettes is it's almost a cliche, right? Because they go together in kind of those comedic movies, right? They always represent each other. But you're right. They had they must have had actors, just like look handsome and then just take a long drag of like Marlboro menthols, you know, and his lungs are being, you know, shredded with this poisonous smoke. And it's like, I feel great. Or, you know,
can
whatever.
you imagine you got the most glamorous woman holding a cigarette,
Yeah.
you know, smoking away, and then all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, I love this stuff. It's so bloody good." Actually, I was looking around the studio today,
Yeah.
and it's looking pretty tidy. Have you been doing a bit of work around the house?
I've been watching this show on Netflix, and it's called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo.
Oh, yes, the little Japanese lady.
Yeah, that's it. And so she's huge, right? I mean, she's everywhere.
See, I always have a problem with her name.
Right. Why is
Because,
that?
well, because her name's Marie Kondo, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of times I get it mistaken for Karen Mondo for some reason.
Oh, who's Karen Mondo?
I have no idea.
Well,
But I just seem to get that name mixed up.
Karen Colin.
It's
Colin,
almost like,
Karen.
remember like John Travolta when he had to do that announcement for a particular person, and he's going, Adele does him. That's what it's like for me. It'd be like if I had to announce that woman, instead of Marie Kondo, I'd be going, okay, live on stage, Karen Mondo. I just have a problem with the name. So if people hear me
It's
saying,
good that you're not in charge.
so if people are saying, hear me today talking about Karen Mondo, it's Marie Kondo.
I'm going to put you on the Oscars next time. You know, Karen Mondo wins 7 awards tonight. We don't even know who the hell she is. It's one of these things that takes over the world for a few weeks. So the moment Netflix launched this show, it's called Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, and it's based on a book that she wrote like a number of years ago. It's a philosophy, a Japanese philosophy on tidying up and about getting rid of things, Devin. You know, get rid of crap you don't need, because we all buy crap. You go to fucking Target and Kmart and Walmart and all these other places, and you're buying stuff you don't need to have in your house.
True.
And then you come home from work and you're stressed, and your life doesn't make sense, and your kids are breaking things, and you know you missed your favorite TV show, and you're not sleeping, and your boss is giving you rubbish, and your life's just falling apart. And then you watch Marie Kondo, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is going to sort my life out." And that's I think that's what people are really into.
It's true. She's quite a sweet little lady.
Very
Like-
sweet.
Like she's so sweet that I feel like she'd give you diabetes.
I think she's very sweet, and she's very very cute, and she's got this kind of she's very non-threatening.
Yes.
Right. It's not like Terry Crews is coming into your house and going, "You better clean up." All right. Now this is not that. This is a very 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 sweet show. And the thing is, what I was surprised about the show, and I watched it, called Tidying Up on Netflix, is that it's a situation where, like, you know, you have people that are in dire straits, which is usually what these shows are about. It's usually like, you know, if you look at the hoarders shows,
Yes.
you know, when they do those, it's usually people that just sit down and cry in the first minute and go, "I've got a problem. I'm terribly depressed. I've got cat shit all over the house. You know, what am I going to do?" And then you've got someone that comes in and goes, "Jesus."
Yeah, you know why you've got so much cat shit around the house?
Yeah.
It's because you've got 100 cats.
That's usually you don't have to be a mathematician to work this out.
See, the thing is too, with those people who are hoarders with all those kind of cats, like I was doing some just rough calculations. Like I was thinking, if you've got 100 cats, if you were to line them all up in rows, like from head to tail, that would actually probably take up the size of a decent sized room.
Oh, well, if you line them up?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had 100 cats and you lined them up, that would be the length of Tim Burton's driveway.
Yeah, but if you,
know
put,
what I mean?
if you put them all sideways, like almost like an army,
Yeah.
you know, so like, you know, 50 cats abreast, you know, look, it would take up so much space. But the thing is too,
I just imagine you running some sort of cat military fucking thing, you know, spec ops with cats.
I mean, can you imagine though trying to squish that many cats into like a confined area too?
Yeah.
That wouldn't end nicely. But the thing is too, you think of all those cats in one space, but the owner hasn't even factored in the fact that you need a litter box.
Well, that is true. What happens is, though, of course, is that, you know, people are in this situation And in those hoarders shows, you have someone comes in and then looks around and goes, my God, there's people in the 17th century that had no money that live better than this.
Yeah.
And so they go, God, you're right. You know, my life's a real mess. And then they really, they kneel down what rules. You know, they go, you need to sort your shit out, right? You need to get rid of everything. And, you know, they do all these extreme things. So the shows are very extreme. And the thing is, the presenters, they got to be really tough.
Yeah.
They got to be like, I'm not messing around here. You need to sort your life out. You know, you're a mess. It's like your Gordon Ramsay, where he goes into the restaurant and he's like, you can't even cook a fucking egg. You can't even cook a fucking egg. You know, and, and the thing about that is that, like, you go, God, you know, they need tough love.
Yeah.
But Marie Kondo goes in, and most of the people on her show, their houses look great.
Yeah.
Before she even is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you get a lot of very successful couples.
It's almost like she's trying to teach them the fine tuning of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching it going, where's all the cat shit?
Yeah.
You know, where's the Gordon Ramsay moment where he chucks a plate at the owner and goes, I'm not dealing with this, you know, but it doesn't happen in her show because they interview these people at the beginning and then these people go, I have a very mild problem with my cutlery drawer or, you know, my clothes. And then they show, honestly, Devin, they show, like, you know, the before of the situation before Marie Kondo changes it. And it shows you, like, and, you know, when you're in a before situation, you want to look at it and go, geez, that's bad.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm watching Tidying Up on Netflix, and their houses are better than mine. Like, I'm looking at them and go, look at what a mess this is. And then I look at it and go, wow, that's really quite clean. Actually, I don't see why you need a multi-millionaire tidying up expert to give you help with this. It seems like you have your life pretty sorted.
Yeah.
But not so, though. So Marie Kondo comes in and she cracks down on this stuff, but she's very nice about it, though.
It's true.
Very nice about it. It's a philosophy, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. But the thing what kind of weirds me out is that I saw one of her examples where she's folding clothes.
Yeah.
And so she's saying,
there's a lot of that.
You've got to spread the love through the clothes when you fold them.
That's right.
And things like that. And I'm going, why?
Well, that doesn't make you comfortable, though. I don't spread love through my clothes, Devin.
No.
I haven't taken that on yet. She has a very specific way of folding things.
Yes.
Where you fold them into little pyramids of joy, right?
It's almost like little bits of origami.
Yes. It's very true.
But the thing is,
very true. But I can't, I mean, everyone that watches that show, there's no way they do that.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that that's something maybe we should do. But even watching it, I don't even aspire to do it because I know it's not going to happen.
Because the thing is too, her selection process of eliminating things is if it brings you joy,
that's right,
keep it. If it doesn't, get rid of it.
Sparks joy.
And she does that little sound, have you noticed?
No.
So there's a sound that she does.
Right.
So if something brings her joy, she goes, ding.
Right.
Like a little ping sort of sound.
Like a light bulby kind of thing. Right.
You know, and I thought she's reached a higher state of consciousness.
I think that's it. I suppose we have to think about it this way, right? If we think she's from Japan, she's from Tokyo, how much space is there in Tokyo?
Oh, exactly.
There's none. I mean, Devin, they can't even fit subways in Tokyo, right? They don't have a sandwich shop there because they can't fit one in. There's no room in Tokyo, right? The sandwich shop is 4 floors under the ground. So the thing is about Tokyo is that it's so slight in space that everybody is obsessed with getting space right. But you would agree, tidying up the show on Netflix, it looks, and all the people in it are American.
Yeah.
And so America's a big country.
Yeah, see, they like everything big.
That's
it. They like those big, massive sofas, those big, massive fridges, you know, stuff like that, which a lot of the other parts of the world I've been to, people do not have those massive big sofas and those massive fridges.
Well, Europe doesn't. Europe is spatially quite aware too. I think. You know, I don't think if you go to an average, like a working class European house anywhere, Ireland or Britain or anywhere, it's quite small.
Well, see, I know having lived in Sweden that a lot of the people sort of follow that whole idea of Scandinavian minimalism.
Yeah, right.
You know, they like that sort of minimalist look.
Well, like, is that like you don't keep a lot of things, or you don't purchase a lot of things?
Yeah, you don't need a lot of things, you know.
Right.
Because I think also because probably overseas a lot of people are in apartments, So when you're in an apartment, I think it's often good to have dual purpose because you can use them for obviously multiple things. It's not like, some people say, all right, I need to have a coffee table, I need to have a stool, I need to have this. Whilst there you could have almost like a really kind of cool stool that could double up as a side table, a little tiny, footrest.
Yeah.
It can be used for multiple things. And I think that's a smarter way of living where you don't need to have 10 things when you only need technically one thing.
Marie Kondo is such an expert at this because she comes from a place where space is such a commodity. The shocking thing is that she goes to America and she's like, you guys have living rooms the size of entire homes where I come from. And so, we need to sort it out. And I think, and also you'll know this, I don't know how commercial Sweden is as far as buy all this crap, but there's nowhere in the world that's more like that than America.
Yeah.
Because everything in the States is about buy this, buy more things, be richer. The more things you have, the more rich you are, I guess.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. And I think that's one of the problems for a lot of hoarders as well. A lot of them see some people put value in money, whilst other people put their value in their possessions.
Yeah.
So some people are very possession driven.
That's right.
Where they sort of go, look, I've got 3 TVs. You think, well, okay, you only got one set of eyes. How many TVs can you really watch at any one time?
Well, correct.
That's the thing. So, one is usually sufficient.
Correct.
But, some people go, yeah, but I've got 3. I've got 3 TVs.
And they're all good. They're all big. One thing I have to say about the show is that, when you do get rid of things, it is therapeutic. But you live personally you're quite minimal anyway.
Yeah.
So I imagine you psychologically get a lot of, you get a lot of space.
Yes.
To kind of just, be whoever you want to be. But part of the reason you have that relaxed vibe about you is because you don't have shit everywhere. Because it does, I guess, where you live, it does reflect who you are. Right?
See, I hate clutter.
Yeah,
because I've always been told, it's almost like a cluttered place is a cluttered mind.
You could do heart surgery on your floor and it would be so sterile. No infections.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't actually have any clutter,
right?
Whatsoever in my place. Everything is actually got a purpose.
I would struggle to make a mess in your place. Even if I went through your place with a sledgehammer, it would look reasonably clean. You know what I mean? But I understand why you live like that. It's a very Scandinavian way to be. But also, psychologically, that's got to be quite a peaceful way to be.
Yeah. Well, I tell you one thing, you'd probably freak out if you saw my kitchen drawer.
Oh no way! Why? Is that not bringing you joy or
no? It's the most uniform kitchen drawer you've ever seen.
That would freak me out slightly. I think over-organization stresses me out. I think I have the opposite effect of Marie Kondo. Marie Kondo would come in and tell me to organize things and I would get more anxious.
Well, see, the thing was, with me, all my kitchen stuff, so basically all my ladles and spoons and can openers and spatulas and things like that are all green. The reason, my logic behind that was because, see, when it's minimalism, there's a lot of white. So I thought, what's one way to bring a bit of greenery into the place? Green utensils.
Oh, yeah.
And then I can just basically put them in the drawer, close them up, and then I don't have to look at them again.
That's your way of interacting with nature.
But
green.
Green.
I feel like I'm in the bush,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
But the thing that would drive me nuts would be if someone turned up to my place and gave me a housewarming gift and it's a utensil and it's like red. That would drive me nuts.
You see, you have that type of personality though.
I would be literally like, remember, John Malkovich?
Yeah.
How he was in that movie, or one of the Transformers movies?
Yeah, they're all the same.
They're all much of a muchness. Yeah. But there's one where basically he's got...
Is that the one where the robot smashes the other robot? That one?
Yeah, that one.
Hey.
But he's like a big CEO of a company, and basically each level of the building is a different colour.
Right.
So you have to have the red cup on the red level, the yellow pen on the...
I see.
And so what happens is one girl brings the red cup onto the yellow level. And basically he makes an announcement and goes, and this is how I would be. It is a visual and therefore a visceral betrayal, and it has to stop.
Okay. I'm never... This is why I don't have dinner at your house, because if I'm scared of what will happen to me if I bring a bowl that doesn't fit in with the green fucking cutlery. But going back to the show, I do find it interesting that no one in the show is an extreme case of anything. And I think that's probably where we get a bit lost on TV, is that every single show about cleaning up your house, it's always the worst people.
Yes.
Because they want drama and extreme things make people watch shit. You know what I mean? And so There's a show on Netflix that's called Consumed. Have you seen it? I don't know if you've seen it. Consumed is like, it's like where people, usually it's a family with kids and, they've bought their kids, like there's one kid, but the one kid has like enough toys to fill like 4 houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like the parents can't even sit down anywhere because there's fucking trucks or there's a, Scale Electric set somewhere or whatever. And so, and then they're in a situation and the lady comes in and she's like, you got to get rid of 75% of your crap.
Yeah.
And what the interesting thing about the show is, and it's a bit obvious when they tell you, is that they always struggle emotionally to get rid of stuff because they always tie like very, very, very hard emotions to objects.
Yes.
And they hate change.
Yes.
And so whenever they have to get rid of things, it seems like, just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just chuck it out. Just get rid of it. But the problem is because they associate the kids don't even give a shit. The kids are like, chuck it away. I don't care. But then the mum or the dad is like, don't get rid of that toy. Because that toy was what I bought that toy 2 years ago when it was in this position and we went on holiday. And if we get rid of that, that memory will disappear. And they've got this funny way of having problem with letting go of things because of the memory it's connected to it. They get past it in most cases, but there's some really extreme people that just associate memories with every tiny little thing, and that's a problem.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I think Marie Kondo, she takes people that don't really have this problem.
No.
It's more like just put the forks in that bit and the spoons there, and then you're good.
See, she really has that sort of, it's almost like a very black and white approach. Brings you joy or it doesn't bring you joy.
That's right.
But the thing is then you sort of think, okay, bringing you joy, that can be very hard to determine as well.
Well, I suppose you can't apply the rule to everything, can you?
Imagine like, I don't know, you're in your 50s and you've got like teenage kids and you kind of go, geez, my kids annoy me. They don't bring me any joy anymore. Like, do I
chuck them out?
Do I get rid of them?
Yeah. Or like, maybe I just get rid of 75% of them.
That dog keeps pooing on in the backyard all the time. It doesn't bring me any joy. Do we get rid of it?
Yeah, well, I suppose how deep do we take that thinking is the washing machine. I need a washing machine because if I don't have one, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't mean I want one. If I could get rid of it, I would. Does it bring me joy though? No. I can't say I look at the washing machine and go, God, that's great. I feel terrific looking at that thing. No, I don't. I don't want to. Cutlery. I don't care about cutlery. I honestly don't care. Some people may. That's fine. But I don't care.
That's me. I thought about...
But you do.
See, I thought about everything because when I moved into my place, everything was new.
Right.
So like I even thought about the type of ironing board I wanted.
Does your ironing board bring you joy?
It does.
Is it the kind of joy that this guy feels?
Oh,
Is it that kind of joy?
It is that kind of joy.
It was a delayed one there.
It was a bit delayed.
It was a delayed. I pressed the button and he didn't make the noise as quick as I hoped he would. But yeah, no, like, so is it that kind of joy? Or
It is.
Yeah, it is that kind of joy.
No, because the thing is too, like, you spend your good money on things. You want to make sure you're 100% certain with what you're buying.
You never have a moment in your life where you're going, God, if someone walked in here, good Lord, I'd be embarrassed.
Exactly.
Right. But you've created a situation where, like, even if you're doing the most mundane thing, someone could walk in and go, damn, that is stylish. That is stylish. I've never thought cleaning my toilet with bleach would be stylish, but in this case, I stand corrected. Right.
I live my life like, you remember, Roxette, the Swedish band.
Yeah, right.
You got to get dressed for success.
I like the idea.
And that's how you got to live your life.
Devon's going to bring out a cassette series, very Tony Robbins-like. It's called Dressed for Success. And it's a six tape series, all in cassette tape, right? And if you listen to all 12 sides, you will also be able to learn the secrets of Devon's Dressed for Success series. But I think I admire Marie Kondo. I think it's quite good, but I think you're right. Like, for example, things that bring me joy, like I can't say vegetables don't bring me joy. No. Like none. I don't feel joyous when I see a vegetable. But the thing is, Devon, I have to have vegetables.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting old, and I think if I need to eat something that's green. Yeah. I can't just have green cutlery like you. I need to eat green things.
See, I haven't eaten a vegetable since 1982.
And you look so young too.
I balance
And I'm
it out.
smaller than you.
I balance it out with the green cutlery.
And you see, this guy doesn't eat vegetables and he's still 6'2" or whatever. And I'm still tiny. So there we go. So maybe the rule is don't eat anything. But work shirts are a good example, right? Because and you need work shirts. So, if you make money for a living because you need to, let's face it, Devin, if you're going to pay for Netflix, you need a fucking job, right? Because you're not going to be able to watch Marie Kondo if a bank manager comes in and takes your TV away. So the thing is, you got to pay for that. So you need a job. You got a job. You need something to wear at the job. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you work at McDonald's or Subway or an office, but you need something to wear. Yeah. Now that brings those people no joy.
See, the thing is with me, clothes can bring you joy initially, and then they don't. That's how I always find it, because it's like I think there's nothing better than wearing something brand new, fresh. It's crisp. It's got that new smell.
You're just standing in your apartment for someone to walk to the door. Just come on.
Oh, look, I'll buy something. That I like on my coat hanger, and I'll just hang it up somewhere and just admire it because I look and go,
But do you not?
God, that's good.
Are you one of these people though? Do you ever buy something and just go like, I'm not going to wear that. It's too good.
Yes.
Do you do that?
I have, because
a lot of people do this. I know I have family people, that I've known that like they buy shoes and it's like, but they're the good shoes. I'm not going to wear those ever. They're just going to sit in a box and I'm going to worship them from time to time. Might look at them a bit, but I'm never going to wear them. Is it money though? Is that why? Because I spent a lot of money on it, so that's why it's never being seen.
See, I feel with some clothes, especially with clothes, I feel they get tarnished with a vibe. So I find this is how I feel, because
I love this,
because it's like, you think about it, you could wear like your work outfit to work. Like it might be just say you might wear, business shirt and slacks, for example. That could be your typical business attire. Now, if you wear that to work, but then on the weekend you might have an event or something and you wear it and it's like, oh, I've got like the work vibe all over me.
Because you wore the same clothes.
And that's the thing. And even like, a lot of businesses will have like a casual Friday where you can just wear whatever you want. Well, see, I don't like wearing my good clothes on those casual Fridays, because then my clothes get tarnished.
So
the
association, right?
Yeah.
So you're associating the drudgery of kind of doing whatever it is you do, but you're mixing in the good shit of the ideal you. And when those two clash, you're like, fuck this. I get it. Yeah. I totally get it. Like that's such a normal way to be, because you have that special thing and you're like, that's for the special occasions.
But the clothes,
like if you wear a tuxedo to work, Devin, it ceases to be a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It does.
Like it's not a tuxedo anymore. That's just your work outfit.
But then the thing is too, sometimes you think, you know what? I'd like to have a real nice outfit. Imagine like you go, oh, I want some nice shoes, belt, pants, jacket. You kind of look at that and go, all right, I'm going to put together an ensemble.
Ensemble.
One nice outfit. But then you look at that and you go, wow, you've got everything just laid out on the bed. Go, that's a good looking outfit. But then you think,
but I can't wear it though.
That's only going to do me for one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the one day. You can't then wear that same outfit day in, day out for the next, 5 days to work. You then need obviously something else. And then it's more stress again. Then you got to think, oh, do I get another outfit? Do I kind of match with this? Do I match with that? It
must be hard being you.
It's tough. And then that's where then I find sometimes, joy, clothes can bring you joy, but they can also then bring a lot of hassles.
Well, that is true. I hated wearing school uniforms. I hated it. But the one advantage is that you didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
That is an advantage, because you don't have to wear, shall I wear my WWF Hulk Hogan t-shirt today, or shall I wear that big oversized t-shirt that my uncle bought me on my 5th birthday, whatever. Yeah. But like, you don't have to go through these things, because you just go, I have to wear my school uniform. Yeah. And there is something to that. I always thought I was against school uniforms, but when you're younger, the uniformity of it is actually pretty important. Yeah. It's when you get older that you know what you like. That's when uniforms annoy you. If you're working at McDonald's or Subway and you're like 70 years old, you're not going to like wearing the t-shirt, because you're kind of like, I think I earned, the right to wear me a Metallica t-shirt. You could write a book about this. Did someone write the minimalism book?
I don't think. No, I don't know.
Get on it.
I have no idea where that's kind of come from.
Get on it. Here's a pen. Get going. Write that one.
You know what would be a good minimalist book?
Okay.
It would be basically a book, but it's one page. and you open up
That's ingenious.
right. So you open up the book and it's one page, and all there is just one quote. Did you really need to buy this?
Brilliant.
That's minimalism right there.
Wow.
You just bought it. Did you really need it? No.
No. And actually,
Am I richer for it? No.
no. And it's actually the book purchase itself reflects the message.
I'd charge $19.95
Correct.
for the one-page book.
Because then people will pay that money and then read it and then realize that the book itself, they didn't need it
Yep.
because there's nothing in it.
And it teaches them a lesson too,
And it
because
is.
you think, are you richer for it? No, you're now $19.95 poorer for it. Have you heard of Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah. He
He's
was in the news.
He is. So he's actually a NASCAR driver.
Oh, this is the NASCAR thing.
Yes. So this is
Yeah,
so
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So he drives basically a Chevy for the team Ally Financial team.
Right. Really rolls off the tongue, that, doesn't it?
It's a cool
I love the Ally Financial Team. Great company.
Smegcast, proudly sponsored
Yeah,
by.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I owe them a fortune. Yeah, let's support them in that sport.
It is a really nice looking car, I must say.
Don't they all look the same in the NASCAR though?
They do.
It's all the same car.
Well, they are different. Well, technically, they're all different models.
See, Devin's going to correct me everything I say now. He is going to correct me.
Because see, I don't know. You would have seen the movie Days of Thunder.
Do you know what? I have seen about half of that, and I've never seen the end of it.
That's all right because you only probably need to see the first half. But
Okay.
What's his name?
Tom Cruise?
No, the other one, the old guy.
Cruise Tom.
Cruise Tom.
Oh, who's the other?
What was that? Duval.
Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's him.
Yeah. So
Was
basically,
he bald in that one?
He was bald, and I think
He's never had hair. He's always been bald. I don't think they got him on film with hair. But yeah, go ahead.
And you know what? I've just totally forgotten.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, no, The Godfather. He had hair. I think he had a wig in The Godfather. It's okay. We've solved it, people. There was one movie that Duvall had hair in, and this is the end of the podcast now. So yeah, sorry. So we're in NASCAR and Robert Duvall and the beginning of Days of Thunder.
That's right. And he turns around and says, basically, Tom Cruise's character, there is nothing stock about a stock car. Because that's what effectively they are. So
Can you explain the definition of a stock car, if that's all right?
So it's not a production car. So obviously, you've got all the cars that people drive on the street. They're a production car. But a stock car is basically made a certain way. So it will have its own frame, like a reinforced frame, obviously for strength if there is a crash.
Yeah.
Custom. It's basically the car is actually totally customized.
So it's kind of like a fixer-upper car, right? It's like, do they just take bits and pieces of other cars, just make a new car?
A lot of the time, they don't even use anything from a production car. That's the funny thing.
So it's all just gathered elsewhere.
They'll basically have the framework, and then they'll tack on metal panels to basically make it look like a Mustang or a Chevy Camaro. And the funny thing is too, with the car, there's a lot of stuff actually missing on the car too. They don't have side mirrors. They don't have brake lights. Their tail lights and headlights are actually decals, like stickers.
Oh, no way.
So there's actually no headlights or anything like that on the car as well. So if you were to put a production car...
So do they ever drive at night?
Well, they will drive at night, but it will have to be under lights on the track.
Yeah.
But if you were to put a real production car Mustang next to
one of the Daytona cars.
Daytona cars, you would see it side by side and you'd go, oh, yeah, it kind of looks like a Mustang, but it is very different.
It's nothing in the production car that's made by the corporate guys.
Yeah.
Nothing goes into the stock car.
Yeah.
Right. So, honest question though, do the team make the stock car, or is it still like Chevrolet or whatever?
No. So it will be the individual teams will make it. So
right.
So that's the thing too, because what they'll do is there's obviously different guidelines where they have to make things very, very consistent.
Right.
So that way everyone's on an even playing field. Now, Jimmy Johnson, he's one of my favourite drivers. A lot of the NASCAR drivers have all got those names like Dick Trickle.
Yeah.
It's the names
Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle.
He's good.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to sponsor him though, would you? maybe Subway should get in on Dick Trickle.
I'd probably say maybe if you got incontinence pads.
That's true, actually.
Dick Trickle,
Dick Trickle,
like
very.
But
good.
They've all got the very sort of southern names.
Because the only exposure I've had to NASCAR which stands for the National Association of something stock car something.
Yeah, so the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing.
See, that's exactly what I said, but it sounded so much better when you said it. Jimmy Johnson, though.
Yeah, so basically what it was, with Jimmy Johnson, there was a race just recently at Daytona.
Well, they called this the big one. It was in the news, right?
The clash.
The big
clash.
thing. And they called it the big one, like it was the earthquake that Los Angeles has been waiting for like 100 years. So what happened?
So basically, all the cars they're usually in majority of cases two abreast. They're almost going around the circuit, which is almost like a velodrome. So all their tracks are almost on a slight angle, so the cars are zooming around.
Yeah, it was circular.
Yeah, circular.
It's not very hard, though. I suppose that's what I always wondered about the old Daytona, the NASCARs, because, it's kind of two straight lines with a bend, and that's it. Like, there's nothing interesting. Like, when you play the computer game of it, it's like, God, is this it? This is it? I have to do 50 laps of this? You get, like, 30 laps in, you're like, God, I'm still going. And so I guess does concentration become an issue?
Well, the thing is, because you think about it, if you're driving along, you don't have side mirrors, so you can't see. Extreme conditions of heat, because there's a lot of heat coming from the engines of the cars as well. There's no air conditioning. You can't take a toilet break or anything like that. So often the race car drivers just have to piss their pants.
That's where Dick Trickle gets into a sticky situation.
Yeah, a lot of them will just pour Gatorade on their crotch if they piss themselves.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No way.
And when they step out of the car to make themselves look like they haven't urinated.
That's hilarious.
Stuff like that. But in this particular race, Jimmy Johnson was up near the front, obviously turning the corner. He's just grazed
another driver.
Just another driver.
Yeah.
And literally happens in a split of a second.
It looks like such a subtle thing on the video.
Yeah.
And people, we're going to put the video up on the website. So go to smegcast.com, click on the episode where you're listening, and we'll put the video of it at the bottom. We'll put a link to it. It's crazy how it starts small and then it becomes this massive thing.
So it's almost like a domino effect. It causes one car to crash into another, and so on and so forth, involving 21 cars.
21.
I think it was pretty much, there might have been about 25 cars. So
That's crazy.
So pretty much, I think 90% of the field was already cleared out. But
that's nuts. There's a contradiction, though, here that's interesting. I thought I'd get your opinion because you're sitting there and you're watching this and you're just watching them go down the same bit of track over and over and over and over again. And you just kind of go, God, it'd be great if there was a crash about now.
I think people love a crash.
I know. This is the problem. It is the highlight. You kind of go, because when you take your kids to go see NASCAR, obviously no one wants anyone to be hurt. Yeah. Like nobody wants anyone to be hurt. There's been fatalities in these things and it's very tragic, but nobody wants anyone to be hurt or anyone to be killed. That would be a horrible thing, but still, wouldn't it be great if there was a crash today? Because that would really make it for me.
Because the good thing with this Jimmy Johnson crash was with everyone being knocked out, he ended up winning.
So he won the race.
He won.
That's great.
So he's basically knocked out. It's like survival of the fittest.
It is actually.
Just knock them all out. It's almost. I would almost call it the cuckoo syndrome.
Right.
The cuckoo bird, it basically lays its eggs in another bird's nest. You are the only
person that's compared cuckoos to NASCAR. You have that.
Because the cuckoo bird lays its eggs in another bird's nest, and then when that cuckoo bird hatches, it pushes out all the other eggs so it can survive, and so it's another bird looking after it. And it was the same there with that case. Jimmy Johnson knocks out 90% of the fleet of cars on the track and then goes to win.
Well, the thing is that, he apologized, didn't he? I am sure he came. I'm sure I read that he came out and actually said, he mightn't have said literally, I'm sorry, but he was I think he was a bit, I kind of shouldn't have done that.
You know what? A lot of the drivers usually won't apologise and they will say some simple statement like, you know what? It is what it is.
It's behind us now. I have already won.
Yep.
Tough.
That's it. So
yeah, I mean, surely when he won, right? When he won and he stepped out of his car, you would have walked back to the garage and you would have went, I'm going to hear about this. They're going to pick on me for this one. It's like playing football and then finding a way to accidentally shoot everyone on the other team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And going, well, it is what it is. Honestly, if you watch the video though, what he does is so innocuous. It's tiny. Yeah. It's just tiny. It's just the fact that it was lightning in a bottle because it was such a tiny little thing. And then the driver he hit reacted in a way that then hit one guy and hit another guy. And then 20 people were out. But you know what I was amazed at? They must build these cars not to flip over. because no one flipped.
They've got a pretty wide stance, the cars, too.
So they don't turn over.
But I think the thing that adds to the danger is the speed, because people, I think, don't realise how fast they're going.
What's the top speed of that? Like, what are you hitting it with a NASCAR?
Oh, look, quite easily well over 200 kilometres an hour,
That's pretty fast.
Depending on the situation or the track or conditions. But
yeah. We should say no one was actually hurt. Or, no one was seriously injured at all. The audience got to see a massive crash, which kept their kids happy, and no one got hurt.
The only other time I've seen something like this happen in sport was one of the Winter Olympics years ago. There was a guy, Stephen Bradbury, who was the speed skater on ice. And those people who are not familiar with him, basically he was in the race. He was in last place. One of the guys in the front slips, knocks out the whole fleet. Brilliant. And Stephen Bradbury pretty much on the last bend of the lap goes into the lead and wins.
That's amazing.
And the whole fleet of people were taken out. And this is probably now the second time I've seen something like this happen. In sport. But I think it would be, if I was Jimmy Johnson, I'd be like in that car looking back through the rear windscreen thinking, yeah, that didn't end well.
He's a competitor.
Yeah.
And I guess to do that kind of sport, you need to be an animal.
You do.
You need to, because even to achieve last place in NASCAR, the amount of the competitive instinct you need to have, like any sport, is insane.
Yeah.
You need to be like a lion. You're like, I am going to beat everyone. And even then, people with those kind of attitudes, they still need talent and training and all that sort of stuff. So I can understand why he just went ahead and won, but it's afterwards. You just don't feel quite right picking up the trophy.
Yeah, because in NASCAR, there's a maneuver called the slingshot.
Right.
So usually what happens is you'll have one car in front and one behind, and usually what will happen is the car in front is actually blocking a lot of the wind.
Yeah.
So therefore the other car behind is not really, its engine's not working hard because it's in that sort of slipstream.
Right.
And then you can often, there is a particular point where then, because the car isn't working hard, can get some extra revs, vroom, and then overtake.
Right.
So that all can happen in a split second.
I mean, it's a normal competitive way to drive.
Yeah.
It was just a bit unfortunate. Apparently NASCAR has been declining in popularity for a while. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's just that, I think all the traditional values of NASCAR, I think, have kind of been picked out of the sport by popularity.
Yeah.
And then what's happened now is I think a lot of kind of true NASCArians are kind of going, it's not the same sport I remember. And so there is a decline.
Because I think the thing is too, because a lot of people go for the manufacturer. Like there are people who are like Chevy fans, Ford fans. There's Toyota in it. There once was Dodge. Things like that. So people, obviously do have a loyalty to a particular brand.
Yeah.
But the thing too is when there's, they're trying to standardize everything, which can mean that sort of, one car can be designed in such a way that technically, if it was on the street, would win. But because of NASCAR, then it's more or less some cars almost like detuned a little bit, whilst others almost given like a little bit of an extra boost to help them be on an even playing field. And that could be simple stuff with, in regards to like the styling of the car. Like it could be something with the engineering of it, like the rear spoiler on the rear boot lid or the air dam on the front of the car. Just simple little things can just give one car maybe that little bit more of an edge. And that's sometimes why I think people are not happy, because it's like, they want it to be like Ford's a better car or Chevy's a better car. They want to see that. And when things are standardized, people don't seem to like it as much.
That's an interesting thought. And technology is a big thing. But when you're going 200 kilometers an hour, those little things make a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, if you ever go into a pit crew, they will have big screen TVs with all the stats and data that they're getting from all the information that's coming from the car. Whether it's, the speeds, the revs of the engine, the tyre wear, everything.
Like RPM, things like that. And I imagine it's very detailed. I know I seen a video and I think I'm changing to F1, Formula 1 very slightly, but they have the pit crew for Ferrari, I think, have the world record of the quickest pit service, where they change all 4 tyres and kind of do a full service in the car. And they do it in they have it timed that it's like 1 point something seconds.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen it, it's crazy. And it's literally like, you've seen it, it's like 15 guys and they're standing in a circle. The car pulls in and they get through that stuff so quick because they're so trained. How much time it would take to train 15 men to do exactly what they have to do screw something back in identically, because if you get something wrong, you're in big trouble. I mean, that is millions of dollars lost if they don't screw at a wheel.
Exactly.
Which is a big deal. And so these guys do that, and they do it in 1 point something seconds. It is so quick. And if they don't get it right, the consequences are massive. But the training they must have to do in those pit crews to get them so rehearsed.
Very true.
Oh, it's incredible. I'm glad you have affinity with that driver, and he won clearly. He did all right.
Imagine playing Jenga with Jimmy Johnson. Now, you know Jenga, the bricks, the wooden bricks.
He would pull out like the bottom one and leave you with like a full tower of bricks with like one stick left at the bottom, and you just go, Jimmy, you son of a... Oh my God, how am I going to win? He would leave you stuck. Yeah. Because there's a nice way to play Jenga and there's a bad way to play Jenga. And sometimes some people, they go, I'm going to take this one because it's going to be goddamn impossible for the next guy to do anything. That's Jimmy.
Okay. All right, here we go. Now, the other one would be, grocery shopping with Jimmy Johnson.
So grocery shopping, that would be, you're walking down, you want a bowl of milk, and there's one bottle of milk left, and Jimmy takes that just as you're reaching, just as you've almost got your hand in the milk. You're just fucking there. You can feel it. The cold's coming off the milk, and Jimmy just goes bang, takes it off you, sabotages your whole week. Yep. No milk, no tea, nothing. Thanks, Jimmy.
And he takes it, and then the shelf next to it collapses.
That's right.
And then next shelf,
and then the entire supermarket spontaneously combusts.
And then it turns to rubble, and all you find is Jimmy Johnson there standing in the middle of the supermarket covered in dust
with his milk.
With his bottle of milk.
Good job, Jimmy. Really appreciate it.
Now, having sex with Jimmy Johnson. So imagine...
Oh, God.
Now, just imagine...
I'm struggling with this one. Now, how is this going to work?
Now, imagine Jimmy Johnson, right? He's having sex.
This guy's going to kill us if he knows we're talking about him. It's all about him winning and everyone else being desperately unhappy.
It's just always a fireball.
I figure a snooker game with Jimmy would be pretty good, wouldn't it? It's kind of Jimmy would stand up and, the snooker game would just be beginning, and then he'd just take a shot and all the balls would go in and he'd leave enough balls for everyone else to win, and then all the balls would then explode and he would win by default.
See,
you know what I mean? It's like,
I would have gone down a different path. Like, I would have pictured him, he's about to do his first shot, playing against someone, and he's lining up the cue, and you have to move the cue back to hit the ball, and he's moved it back and he speared the person and knocked him out, and then he wins by default.
I think either way, people, Jimmy's going to win by default. Yeah, no, Drew, I think this guy is a dangerous man, this guy.
Well, the thing I learned by Robert Duvall in Days of Thunder is rubbing is racing.
Rubbing is that what he said?
Yeah, he does say rubbing is racing.
I don't remember that part, yeah. Also, if you're a bald man, you can still be a successful actor. That's what I learned. I mean, you don't have to have a wig on all the time, all right? It's fine. People, thanks for listening. Don't forget, go on to our, what do we got? We got a YouTube channel. I didn't even know that, but we have a YouTube channel.
We do.
We do. So go on to YouTube, type in Smegcast, and all our videos are on there. We got some clips on there, so watch those. Also go to our website, smegcast.com. So if you want to listen to more by Devin talk about facts and me make fun of him, that's the place you got to go to.